Hello, Kipsters. Hope you guys are having an awesome day so far, and I hope you had an awesome weekend. Looking forward to continuing these lessons with you all as we approach the winter break coming up very, very soon, which I know we are all looking forward to just as equally. Today, we're going to continue working with our recorders, as I said, and we're going to be reviewing songs and tunes that we have already worked on. Essentially, because I know some of us have just gotten our recorder, even as soon as, just yesterday, not on Sunday, but last week. And I wanted to make sure that these people weren't just coming in on the lessons that are automatically harder or more advanced than the ones we began with. So I am going to speed through this a little bit just to give you guys some extra practice as well. But I am doing this also for those of us who do need to go back and do the work and continue to get better with the recorder. When you play instruments, there are weeks, there are months where you play the same song over and over again, trying to make it perfect. And we are kind of adapting that habit, the habit of practice, the habit of getting better at things with time. So we're going to continue that work right now with the exercise 5 hot cross buns. And we're just going to go through a couple things, a couple reminders with you before we play today. When we're sitting, if you're in a chair, try to sit at the edge of your chair. It really helps you with the leaning back thing, because if I was sitting way back here, Mr. Isaac would just be leaning back on his couch. So he's sitting way up front on the front of his couch so that his body is naturally 90-degree angle. If you're sitting in the front of your chair, your body will naturally take that position. All right, making sure that our feet are on the ground, our feet are planted so that if we need to tap our foot, we can use the back heel of our foot for easy tapping. All right, making sure, again, for those of us that are new to playing this instrument, when we play these instruments, it is very crucial that we are covering the entire hole every note we play. If we don't cover the entire hole, it will squeak. And I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that already. I'm sure most of you have experienced it just by even playing it a little bit. If you don't cover every single hole on the instrument that you're playing, it will squeak. Now, you don't have to cover every hole all the time. Obviously, that's not how this instrument works. But if you have a hole just a little bit tiny uncovered, the instrument, it doesn't, and it's not necessarily a squeak. There's actually a purpose for doing a half hole, but we're not there yet. Even Mr. Isaac's not really there yet. So we're not going to take it there because that's not what the level we're trying to get at. But just for your own all intensive purposes, it will squeak if you don't have the entire hole covered. Making sure that every note we play, the back hole is covered. I haven't taught you any notes where this finger comes off. All right, so always have that thumb on that hole. That is your safety point. That is where you always know your thumb will be. All right. Also, when we're playing, making sure that the instrument's not too far in our mouth, otherwise it'll squeak. Now, that wasn't a squeak, but I know how to make it not squeak. Just don't have it too far in your mouth or it won't sound great. And also making sure we're not blowing too hard. I know a lot of younger children love to make this instrument squeak just by playing it too hardly. So making sure that we're being soft, we're being pleasant, we're being gentle, and we're taking care of our instruments. I hope you guys have been taking care of these instruments as well as I know and trusted you to do. We still will play these when we get back to school, so I need to know that you have these in your hand. I do have extra, but I don't want to be giving out a lot of extra. All right, so our 3 notes at the top that we will be working with at the beginning and also kind of teaching for those of us who haven't been with me so far on these lessons. We're working with the notes B, A, and G. If you can watch me down at the bottom screen, you see that I'm fingering these notes as I say them. B, A, and G. 1 finger on top with the thumb on the back, 2 fingers on top with the thumb on the back, and 3 fingers on top with the thumb on the back. And we start with our left hand, the one that has an L when you make it in front of your face. Left hand on top, all right? A lot of us are right-handed, and so they want to play with right hand. No. Left hand on top, and that is not negotiable, okay? Going to the actual tune, all right? We're going to move along and get as much in this video as we can. We will most likely do a review tomorrow, but we'll see if we get through this, all right? So we're working on the tune Hot Cross Buns, and the only notes that we play in this tune are B, A, and G, okay? So we have half notes, we have whole notes. Remember, half notes count for 2 beats. So if you're tapping your foot, 1, 2, 3, tap your foot with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Keep tapping one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. every time you tap your foot, 2 of those taps equals 1 half note. All right, because a half note equals 2 beats. So if I were tapping my foot, you would tap your foot for 2 on that first note, which is B. You see that B up there at the top, 1, 2, 3, third line, B. And then you would tap your foot for 2 more on that A, which is that note that's in the space. And then we have a whole note right after that, and a whole note equals 4 counts. So how many foot taps are you going to do for a whole note? 4 foot taps, okay? So let's try that. 2 foot taps on B, 2 foot taps on A, and 4 foot taps on G. Try that. 1, 2, ready, play with me. Try that again. This time I'm going to tap my finger so that you see when your foot should go down. So you're going to watch my finger. Hopefully it's not lagging because I know some of these videos lag. And then that's going to equal your foot tap. Since you can't see my feet, you're going to watch my finger. Here we go. 1, 2, ready. And then you do it again. 1, 2, ready. And it's hard for me to focus on tapping and playing, but we're going to stop that now. You just saw how an example was. Continue tapping at that tempo. All right. Next part, we do 4 G's. So that's 1 foot tap per note G we play. So tap, 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 G, 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 and then A, and then we do one final B, A, G. All right. Here we go. From the G's, 4 G's. 1, 2, ready. And then that is how that song is played. All right. Now, the best way to get through this song is to tap your foot so that you know that we're moving along nicely. All right. I'm going to try to make a Flipgrid assignment to where you guys have to play this tune and show me that you know how to play these. So making sure that we're practicing because I want to see that you guys can play this. So be prepared for a playing test very, very soon. Okay. Hot cross buns, the whole thing. Let's see if we can do it. 1, 2. Okay, also before, I was just thinking this. You need to tongue your instrument if you're not already doing so, okay? So not just blowing into the instrument. It's more like you're spitting out a seed. All right? Can't spit out seeds if you don't use your tongue. All right? From exercise 5, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. Not bad. I hope you guys did well with that. As always, or if you haven't heard before, you can always rewind these videos and go back to the beginning so that you can get that extra practice that you need. If you get it the first time, perfect. If you didn't, go back and practice again until you get it right. And practice it on your own. Pause the video and just read the notes. I've given you the tools to be able to read these notes. I think you can do it, all right? Exercise 6, Merrily We Roll Along. All right, now this is the actual tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. All right, but we don't actually do, it's called Merrily We Roll Along for one specific difference, but we're not going to go over that difference right now. But this is the actual tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb, or at least very, very close to it. All right, all quarter notes in this one except the last note. And then we have a couple of these squiggly lines that go right down the middle, and those are called rest. Most of you know that. That's a moment in music where we don't make any sound. There's just silence, and we love silence, okay? A lot of things can be spoken in silence, or at least understood. Okay, all quarter notes here, only B, A, and G. So you're essentially just following the notes as you read along, and you're putting your finger down as you go and up as you go. For B, the note on the third line, the first note, we use one finger. For the only note that's in the spaces that doesn't have a line going through it, we use 2 fingers on A. And for that note right under A on the second line, we use 3 fingers on G. Try to play this song just one time through, all the way through. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, tap your foot. So I felt at the end that there would have been a mistake because we don't do a rest. In a lot of this, we get used to the pattern. So we're going to do that one more time, making sure that we're ready for the second line when it comes up, okay? Because that second line has no rest in it, but the first line has 3 rests in it. So I felt we could have easily gotten used to the rest. So we're going to try that again one more time, just from the beginning, and then we're going to move on. Looking at the rest, making sure you know when to play them, and looking at the notes, making sure you know how many of a certain note you have and when you change. And also making sure that we use our tongue. At no point in here should you not be using your tongue. Here we go. Exercise 6. Merrily we roll along. 1, 2, tap your foot, ready, go. Not bad, you guys. I hope that went well for you. If it did not, of course, like I said, just go back to just rewind a couple minutes and watch that from the beginning. If you did get it perfect, you're ready to move on. Let's go. Exercise 7 coming up. French folk song. I like this song a lot. I'm going to zoom in so it's easier to see for us. We start on G. And one specific part about this song that we need to work on is you see here in measure 3, if you can see me circling on the YouTube video, we jump from G to B. Now, every other part before this, we were just moving our finger one at a time. We weren't moving 2 fingers at once. And that's what we're doing here. You see how I'm picking up 2 fingers and you all of a sudden see 2 holes under that? All right, we're going from G to B. And it's easy to kind of like, but we're going to make sure we get that dexterity in our fingers and we're able to move 2 fingers at once like that. All right, try the French folk song with me. So we start on G, we go up to A, we got B, we go back down to A, we got G, then B. We jump, and then we go down to A, and then finish off with G. Making sure we're tapping our foot. We got whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes in this one. Here we go. 1, 2, exercise 7, ready, set. Not bad, guys. I feel like that was a little bit better than maybe I would have thought. Of course, I can't hear you. I'm just imagining in my head what's going on in your home. But we're going to do it again, of course. We're going to do every song at least twice because I think we need the extra practice on these. And that's all right. I like to play these songs, and I hope you like playing them as much as I do. All right, exercise 7, French folk song one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. All right, we're going to move on from that one. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Again, if you need the extra work, pause the video, practice it on your own, rewind it, and work from where we were working. But I'm going to move on so that we can get most of this done. All right, exercise 8, rain is falling down. Now, I wanted to wait to talk about this until we got to this specific excerpt. But you see here, over in the corner, you see that there's a 2, 4. Now, we talked about this in one of my videos, but I'm going to re-talk about it here. In most measures, and as you can see up here, this is true. In most measures, or in most songs, we are in 4/4. That means there are 4 beats per one measure. So you see right here, there's 4 quarter notes in that measure. All right, that means there's 4 beats in that measure. And you see here that there's a letter C. That means common time because it is the most common way to read music or to hear music. And that's why we put a C there to save us writing time. We don't always want to write 4/4. All right, but most musicians will write 4/4 or they'll put a C to let you know that there are 4 beats in this measure, that when you count up to 4, and then you start over for the next measure. Now here, you can see that this one says 2/4. All right, so you can imagine if 4/4 equals 4 beats in one measure, then 2/4 equals what? 2/4 equals 2 beats per measure. Now, the bottom 4 is just kind of give you an example of what you're counting, and too much to describe. But the 2 is the most important part here. 2 beats per measure, okay? You see that there's Now, it can be tricky because we have eighth notes in this, and you see 4 notes in it. But we also have to remember that an eighth note equals a half of a beat. So a half plus a half equals 1. Now, it's interesting how there's so much math in music, but it's a sometimes it's a very mathematical thing, how music works, how it's heard, how it's made, how it's sounding. Okay? So it's okay that we're doing a little math. We're getting a little integration here. All right? You see 4 beats in it. You see 4 notes in the one measure, but those are eighth notes. So half of them, 2 of them equals 1 because a half plus a half equals 1. If you put half a glass and then you fill it up with another half glass, you'll have 1 whole glass. All right. Or if you have 50 cents, half a dollar, and then you add 50 more cents, you have 1 whole dollar. All right. That kind of thing. So eighth notes is a half. 2 of them equals 1. So 2 eighth notes equals 2 beats. And as you can see, there's only 2 beats in that measure before we get a line that breaks the measures up. And then you have a quarter note, rest, that's 2 beats. 2 eighth notes again, 2 eighth notes again, quarter note rest, 2 beats. All right, we're going to play this one together twice, of course. And these are eighth notes. So T, 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 ta, sh. T, 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 ta, sh. T, 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 ta, sh. All right, and we're going to change these lyrics to snow is falling down instead of rain because it's December. Here we go from the beginning. T, 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 ta. On the note B is the first note we play. 1, 2, ready, go. Not bad. Let's do it one more time, guys. A little bit slower this time. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Not bad, guys. We're going to do the bonus right here. All right, before we move on, we're not going to actually move on to the next. We might move on to one extra one, but we're going to do, we'll do it. But we're going to do this bonus right here. Again, 2, 4, eighth notes. Let's see if we can do it without any extra help. B, A, and G. Looking at your notes, I'll give you like 5 seconds really quickly to look, or 10 seconds. I'll give you 10 seconds really quickly to look at these notes. All right, you guys have looked. Here we go. Playing it with me. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. I felt like that might have been better. That could have went better than it did for some of us, and some of us may have killed it, and I hope you did, but if not, we're going to do it again. Last time, bonus, major duple, and then we're going to go on to learn the last note that we've worked on before we move on to the next lesson. Here we go. Bonus, major duple. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. If you need the extra practice, feel free to go back and rewind it, guys, so that you guys can get that extra work in. If not, that's okay. Move on with me. We're going to go to the last part of this review lesson for the day. All right. Now, I wanted to get to this because we are learning a new note here. If for those of us who haven't learned this note, please pay attention. For those of us who have learned this note, please pay attention because you need the extra work. This note is a little trickier because it involves one finger down and the other one not. Now, before, if we had the index finger and we were doing a new note, the index finger stayed. Now the index finger moves while the middle finger stays down. All right, so we have a middle finger C or middle C here. All right, on this isn't actually middle C, which you would see, but we're going to call it middle C for right now. This is middle C. We use our middle finger to play it. All right, so we're going to play this excerpt really quickly right here, and then we're going to pause. We're going to call it for the video. But exercise 9, note C. We start on C, and that's the only note we're playing. And I'm going to say it for you on the rhythmic syllables. Here's exercise 9 in common time. So we're tapping 4 times again before we switch measures. Here we go. Ta ta ti ti ta. Sh 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 sh. Ti 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 ta ta. Say it with me one time, guys. Exactly like that. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta ta ti ti ta. Sh 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 sh. T T T T ta ta. And if some of you are wondering why I do the shushes right there in that measure, this little square or rectangle equals a rest. Now, sometimes we just put this instead of putting 4 squiggly lines because that's a lot of writing. Or a lot of these musicians or composers don't really want to spend their time writing rest, so they just put a little square box in there or a little rectangle box in there to let us know that for that entire measure we don't make a sound. Okay. Let's start from exercise 9, note C. Remembering our thumb is on the back and our middle finger is on the second hole, not the first hole. That can also be a trick. That can also be how we get caught up. It's on the second hole. Look down at your finger. Is the first hole covered? If it is, take it off. The second hole should be the one that's covered. Here we go. Exercise 9. Last one we're going to do. 1, 2, exercise 9. Ready, go. For me, that was good. I thought that was a little bit better than I thought I was going to do. Let's see how you guys do it again. We're going to try one more time, and then we're going to end it. Exercise 9, note C, making sure that note is fully covered with their middle finger. All right, don't let any part of that hole be uncovered because it will squeak very easily on this note. Watch, when I do half of it uncovered, it just sounds, it's not squeaking, but it doesn't sound right. All right, you can see that difference there. It's a very big difference. We don't want that difference. Here we go. Exercise 9. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. Shh, 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 shh. And that is exercise 9, note C. So far we reviewed 4 notes today: B, A, G, and C. Okay, hopefully you guys got as much from that as you could. If you do need more time with this lesson, feel free to come back to this video. It is a review video, so you can always come back to this one and redo it when you need to. Tomorrow we're going to continue on with these excerpts that we learned with our exercise note C, and hopefully get a little bit further into these lessons. All right, very soon, or actually today, you should have seen the video for talent show. I'm going to be hosting a talent show, hopefully for most of us. It might be per grade level. We'll see how many submissions we have, but hopefully we can have some sort of reward for you. If not, just having the actual video is something to enjoy as well. As always, Mr. Isaac has 3 things for you. You are kind, you are smart, you are important. I so look forward to the day that we can have music together in class again. But until then, I love making these videos for you, and I hope you are enjoying them as much as I am enjoying making them. Have an awesome day, you guys, and I will see you so soon.